Well, welcome everybody to our next virtual Pilates class. Today I thought for a change we'd do some light hand weights. And if you don't have access to any light hand weights, you can still do the moves without any weights. Or you can use, canned soup or canned vegetables. But before we start with the weights, let's go ahead and warm up a little bit. So plant your feet roughly hip distance apart. Let's focus on our posture with our knees directly over our ankles, our hips right over our knees, our shoulders pulled back and away and right over our hips. And let's inhale through the nose. And as you exhale, let's drop your chin and let the weight of your head start pulling your torso one vertebra at a time down towards the floor, just rolling one vertebra at a time, keeping your tummy pulled in, coming down just as far as you're comfortable. I don't want you to strain any muscles when we're not warmed up. And let's inhale at the bottom through the nose. And as you exhale with soft knees, let's start stacking one vertebra on top of the next, rolling back up to a standing position. And the head comes up last. And let's roll those shoulders. And now, let's press our feet and inner thighs together. Keep your toes in an outward V position. And inhale as you bring those arms right up towards the ceiling. Exhale as you circle down and around. Continuing on, if you'd like to add a heel lift as you inhale up and exhale down. Just a little bit of balance work. Inhale up and exhale down. And one more time. Inhale up and exhale down. And now let's reverse that pattern. Let's inhale out to the side as we come up and exhale down in front. So let's inhale up to the side and exhale down. And let's do two and down and one and down. And now let's go ahead and pick up our weights. I'm using 2-pound weights today. Usually 1 to 3 for women or 4 or 5 pounds for men. Now let's keep our feet roughly hip distance apart. And as you inhale, imagine you're sitting back into a chair and bring those arms up to shoulder height. Inhale, exhale as you come back up to standing. And when you inhale back into that imaginary chair, let's focus on keeping the weight on our heels, keeping our knees from extending out over our toes. And yes, we're actually doing a squat as we lift our arms up to shoulder height. And let's do 4 and up and 3 and up, 2 and 1. Great job. Let's plant your right foot, bring your left foot out in front slightly. Let's bring those arms up, palms facing up to shoulder height. And as you inhale, let's do a bicep curl and come down into a lunge. Exhale back up, and inhale lunge, and exhale up. And as you might notice, lunges require a little bit of balance work, so you might want to find that focal spot on the floor. And let's do 4, 3, 2, and 1. Great job. Let's go ahead and switch feet, bringing the right foot out in front with the left foot planted behind you. This time, let's bring those arms out to the side, palms still facing up. And as we come down into that lunge, let's do a strongman curl. So it's exhale and inhale, and exhale and inhale. And you're trying to keep your back straight. You're not leaning over that top front knee. Let's do 4, 3, 2, and 1. Great job, everyone. Let's bring those feet back to about hip distance apart. Bring your hands palms facing down on your thighs, and slowly slide those hands down your knees, coming back into a slight squat with your knees slightly bent. The back is long but bent slightly over your knees. Let's take those elbows, press them in tight to your waist, keeping your hands soft, not really gripping the weights too hard. And exhale as you extend those arms straight to the back, making certain that you fully extend the arms to engage the head of the tricep. Inhale as you release, and exhale, extend. Inhale, release, and exhale, extend. Inhale, release, and let's do 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And now, bring those arms down in front. Your feet are still about hip distance apart in the same body position with your knees slightly bent. This time, as you exhale, let's draw those elbows straight up towards the ceiling. And inhale as you release. The muscles we're focusing on right now are those little muscles right in between your shoulder blades called the rhomboids. And you really want to use those muscles to lift your elbows straight up to the ceiling. And let's do 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And slowly roll that spine back up to a standing position. Roll those shoulders. And keeping your feet about hip distance apart. As you inhale this time, let's bring that right arm straight up towards the ceiling. Exhale as you come over into a mermaid stretch. And then inhale up and switch, and exhale over. And inhale up and switch, and exhale over. Inhale up, and one last time. Exhale over, and come back to standing. Let's bring those arms straight out in front at about shoulder height. And then inhale as you open them out to the side. Exhale as you squeeze those arms together. And inhale, open, and exhale, squeeze. And inhale, open, and exhale, squeeze. And let's do 5, and 4, 3, 2, and 1. Working those pectoral muscles a little bit. Now, for our last weight exercise, we're going to incorporate a little bit of bar, which is exercise that deals with ballet movements. So let's press those inner thighs back together. Press your heels together. And if you'd like to add on from this, you can come up onto what's called a demi point, but the weight is on the balls of your feet, your heels are lifted, and then slightly bend those knees into what's called a demi-plie. The difference between a plie and a squat is that your back is straight, you're not bent over, and you are allowed to let your knees extend out over your toes. So let's bring those arms back up to shoulder height, and 5 little arm circles for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and switch direction for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And now let's pulse up with the thumbs for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And switch to the pinkies for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Great job, everyone. Let's roll those shoulders, set the weights down. Take that right arm right across your chest, just relaxing those muscles that we've just worked. And switch. And now let's take that right elbow up towards the ceiling, take that left hand, give a gentle stretch to the right triceps, and switch. Bend the left elbow, place the right hand on the top of the left elbow, and release. Let's clasp those hands to the back And exhale as you're reaching those arms out towards the wall behind you. And release. Let's come down onto the mat now. And down onto your backs, keeping your knees bent. Feet flat on the mat. Let's find that neutral spine where there's a little space under the small of your back. And your arms are down by your side. Let's go ahead, inhale through the nose. And as you do that, I want you to feel the air expand out laterally into your rib cage. And as you exhale through the mouth, feel those abdominals contract just slightly more. And now, so let's inhale through the nose. And as you exhale, use your abdominals to lift that tailbone up off the mat and continue rolling until you feel your lower back imprint into the mat. Inhale as you release back to neutral. And exhale, curl. We're just warming up the back muscles. And inhale, release. This time as you exhale and start rolling that spine, let's continue one vertebra at a time all the way up to our shoulder blades. Pressing those shoulder blades back into the mat. Making certain you can still turn your head from side to side so that you know you're not on your neck. And inhale as you lift those hips a little higher. And exhale, let's lay that spine down. One vertebra at a time, rolling them just like a string of pearls until you feel your tailbone and you release to neutral. Let's do that one more time. Inhale at the bottom. And exhale, start picking that spine up one vertebra at a time. Rolling up to your shoulder blades, pressing your shoulder blades into the mat. Inhaling as you lift your hips just a little higher. And exhale, roll that spine down, slowly with control, trying to feel each vertebra as it touches the mat. And when you feel your tailbone, release to neutral. With your knees still bent at about a 90-degree angle, keeping your neutral pelvis where it is, let's exhale as we bring that right leg up to tabletop, keeping that same angle. And then inhale as you lower. And exhale, lift. And inhale, lower. And exhale, lift. What we're doing here is just warming up those hip flexors. You might want to focus and feel exactly which muscles are working right now. And let's do 2 and 1. And place the right foot back on the mat and switch. Lifting the left knee. Exhaling as you lift, inhaling as you lower, keeping that 90-degree angle in the knee bend. And let's do 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Great job, everyone. Let's go ahead. Bring our fingertips so that our fingertips are laced behind our ears, our elbows are wide. And inhale again through the nose. As you exhale, float the head and shoulders up to about the bottom of the shoulder blades, keeping your neck in alignment with your spine, keeping your gaze roughly between your knee pads. Inhale as you release back to the mat. We're really just warming up the upper abdominals, but we want to focus on proper form. So we're exhaling as we float. Inhale as we release, making certain we're not really pulling on our neck. Our fingers are there more to support our head. And let's do 4, and release, and 3, and release, and 2, and 1. Great job, everyone. Now let's float the head and shoulders up and rotate over to the right, lifting that left shoulder up off the mat, back to center, and rotate left, and back to center, and rotate right, center, left, center. What we want to focus on here is going side to side without crunching forward. And let's do 1 more in each direction, to the right, center, left, and back to center, and rest that in shoulders down. Let's pick up the weights if you'd like for this next move. Rather than increasing the resistance, it actually works a little bit as an assist in this next move. So let's inhale as we lift those arms up towards the ceiling, continuing a little bit through vertical. And as you exhale, bring those arms forward, float the head and shoulders up, and reach out over your toes. So we're doing a full roll up, and the increased weight of the weights actually assists in bringing that torso up off the mat. So let's inhale as you sit up tall. Point the toes, drop the chin, exhale. Roll back slowly with control. Inhaling again as the arms reach long. And exhale as you peel up off that mat and reach out over your toes. Again, inhale as you sit up tall. Point the toes, drop the chin. Exhale as you roll back slowly with control. Inhaling again as the arms reach long. And exhale as you roll up off that mat. Reach out over your toes. One of the things we want to try and achieve while we're doing this roll up is not to use so much momentum like this, but to allow our muscles to roll up with control. Like this. And exhale and peel up off that mat and reach out over your toes. Let's go ahead and sit up tall. Now we are finished with the weights. Let's bring those legs out to a straddle position. Reach your head up towards the ceiling, sitting as tall as possible. Bring those arms out at shoulder height. And as you inhale through the nose and then exhale, let's pulse to the right, thinking tall, taller, tallest. Inhale, center, and pulse left, left. Inhale, center, and right, right, right. Still thinking about sitting up tall, taller, tallest. Inhale, center, and one more each direction, back to center and left, left. Inhale, center, and rest your arms down. Coming back down onto your backs again. Finding that neutral spine. You can either, and bringing your legs to tabletop. Tabletop is knees right over the hips. Shins are parallel to the mat. You can do this next move with your head and shoulders on the mat. Or if you'd like to add on, challenge yourself more, you can bring your head up off the mat. And let's take that right leg. Let's extend it out to 45. Lift to the ceiling, lower, and return, and switch. So it's extend, lift, lower, return, extend, lift, lower, return, extend, lift, lower, return. You can do this move with your spine in neutral position. That's wonderful. If you're struggling a little bit, go ahead and imprint your lower back into the mat to give your back a little more support. Let's do one more each leg. Extend, lift, lower, return. And now let's add on and do both legs at the same time. So extend, lift, lower, return, extend, lower, return, extend, lower, return, and 3, and 2, and 1. Great job, everyone. Let's rest the head and shoulders down. Give those knees a quick little hug. And bring those legs right back to tabletop position. Again, for this next move, you can keep your head and shoulders on the mat, or you can float them back up with your hands interlaced behind your ears. Press those heels together. Allow your knees to drop off to the side. And as you exhale, let's press those legs away. Inhale as you release. Let's exhale as you press. And inhale, release. And exhale, press. Inhale, release. This move is called frog because obviously your legs look like they're frog legs. And let's do 4, 3, 2, and 1. And release. Rest the head and shoulders down. Let's bring that right knee into your chest. Extend that left leg long on the mat. Flex your left foot for stability. And let's rotate that right ankle. Just warming up the muscles of the lower leg and foot. And switch direction. And inhale through the nose. As you exhale, let's unfold that right leg, warming up the hamstrings. Inhale as you bend, and exhale, unfold. And inhale, bend, and exhale, unfold.
And now let's flex the foot and point the toe. And flex and point. And flex and point. And flex and point. And let's flex the foot, grip the toes, and spread the toes. And grip and spread. And grip and spread. Grip and spread. Bringing that foot back to a soft point, slight outward rotation. Bringing your arms back down to the mat. Let's go ahead, single leg circles across the body first. Inhaling as you lower, exhale as you lift. Inhale, lower, exhale, lift. Trying to make the same circle over and over while keeping the rest of your body completely still, just like it's poured in concrete. And let's do 2 and 1. And meet at the top and switch directions. Out to the side, down, around, and up. If you're having problems stabilizing your torso, just make your circle a little smaller. And let's do 3 and 2 and 1. And meet at the top. Let's walk our hands up the back of the leg. Allow your head and shoulders to float up off the mat, bringing your nose and knee as close together as possible. Taking a couple good breaths to allow those muscles to release some tension. And release. Rest the head and shoulders down. Extend the right leg long on the mat. Flex that right foot for stability. Hug that left knee into your chest and rotate that left ankle. Again, warming up the muscles of the lower leg and foot, and switch direction. And inhale through the nose. As you exhale, unfold the left leg, warming up the left hamstrings. And inhale, bend. And exhale, unfold. And inhale, bend. And exhale, unfold. And let's flex the foot and point the toe. And flex and point. And flex and point. And flex and point. Let's flex the foot, grip the toes, and spread the toes. Grip and spread, grip and spread, and grip and spread. Bring that foot back to a soft point, slight outward rotation, single leg circles across the body first. Inhaling as you lower, exhale as you lift. A slight pause at the top, trying to make that same circle over and over, while still keeping the rest of your body completely still. And let's do 2. And 1, and meet at the top and switch directions. Out to the side, down, around, up. Inhaling as you lower, and exhale, lift. And let's do 4, 3, 2, and 1. And walk your hands up the back of that leg. Allow your head and shoulders to float up off the mat, drawing your nose up towards that left knee to the best of your ability. And release. Rest the head and shoulders down. Bring that right foot up to meet the left. Place your arms back down on the mat. And as you lower your legs down towards the floor, let's do a horizontal scissor kick. Going down, 3, 4, and up, 2, 3, 4, and down, 2, 3, 4, and up, 2, 3, 4, and down, 2, 3, 4, and up, 2, 3, and 4, and down, 2, 3, 4, and up, 2, 3, and 4. Let's go ahead. Bring those legs back to tabletop and bring those arms out to a 90-degree angle. And as you inhale, let's lower both knees down towards the right. Exhaling, using your abdominals as you draw them back up to center. And inhale as you lower them to the left. Exhale up to center. Going at your own pace, just lowering your legs from side to side. But you're inhaling as you lower and exhale as you lift. Your hips may float up off the mat, but you want to keep your shoulder blades firmly planted. And you can inhale, lower, and exhale, lift. Adding on, if you'd like, you can bring those arms down by your side. That creates a little bit less stability of the torso. So you have to work just a little harder to keep that torso and both shoulder blades on the mat. Again, it's inhale, lower, exhale, lift. If you'd like to add on further from here, let's inhale, lower, extend that top leg long, bend, and back to center. Rotate, extend, bend, back to center, and rotate, extend, bend, and rotate, extend, bend, back to center. One more each direction. Extend the leg long, bend it back down, back to center, and rotate, extend, bend, and center. Let's go ahead, place those feet back on the mat, about hip distance apart. Arms are still down by your side, and let's inhale through the nose. As you exhale, again, use your abdominals, start pulling that, lifting that spine up off the mat, rolling up one vertebra at a time. Coming to rest on your shoulders, pressing those shoulder blades back into the mat. And let's inhale and exhale, bring that right leg straight up towards the ceiling. And keeping both hips equally elevated, let's take that right foot and 5 little leg circles on the ceiling for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and switch direction for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and inhale and exhale. Place that right foot back on the mat. Inhale while you reposition your feet, and exhale. Let's lift that left leg straight up towards the ceiling, and 5 little leg circles for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and switch direction for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1, and inhale and exhale. Place that foot back on the mat. Inhale as you reposition your feet, lifting those hips just a little higher, and exhale, roll that spine down. Slowly with control, one vertebra at a time. And when you feel your tailbone, release to neutral. And now, let's help yourself up to a seated position on your forearms. Keeping that torso long, let's extend those legs out towards, to a 45 degree, out towards the wall in front of us. And as you inhale, let's circle both legs off to the right, down, around, up, and meet at the top and switch direction. And we're inhaling as we lower, and exhale as we lift. And inhale, lower, and exhale, lift. This is a little more advanced version of the corkscrew. This is called hip circles, and there's a smaller base to keep steady, so it's a little bit more challenging. And we're inhaling as we lower, and exhale as we lift. We're allowing our feet to slide past one another, but they're staying together. And let's do one more in each direction. You hit the top, bend those knees, help yourself up to a seated position. Just lower your torso down over your knees, releasing the tension in your back. Take a couple good breaths. And roll up to sitting, and let's come over onto our tummies. When you're on your tummies, imagine there's a cactus right under your belly button. You want to make certain you're pulling that navel in towards your spine. Your nose is about 2 inches off the mat. Let's extend those arms out long. And now, let's take the right foot and the left arm. Let's reach for opposite walls. We're just floating 4 or 5 inches off the mat, but we're thinking more length than height. And reach, and reach, and release. Let's switch. Left leg, right arm, reaching for opposite walls. Keeping everything long, just like we're being pulled in opposite directions. And release, and switch. And reach, and reach, and release, and switch. Reaching arms and legs for opposite walls, 4 or 5 inches off the floor, and release. Just bring those arms back so that you're slightly resting those forearms on the floor of the mat. Not very much pressure, we're just barely resting. And now, inhale through the nose, and as you exhale, reach that head out towards the wall in front of you. You should feel your upper torso lift up off the mat, but we're thinking length more than height. We're trying not to hyperextend our back too much. And inhale, release. One way to prevent your hyperextension of the lower back while you're reaching your head forward is to really press your pubic bone into the mat. That keeps the pelvis tilted in the right direction. And inhale, release. And exhale, reach. Imagine you're rolling a ball with your nose out towards the wall in front of you, thinking length far more than height. And inhale, release. Adding on from here if you like, as you're reaching the head out towards the wall, to reach those legs to the wall behind you. Just like you're being pulled again in two directions. Thinking length more than height, pressing your pubic bone into the mat, and inhale, release. And exhale, reach. Reach, reach, reach. Really working those smaller muscles in your back. And inhale, release. Let's do that one more time. Exhale to reach head and legs towards opposite walls. Keeping your neck long. We're not craning our neck up like that. And release. Place those hands under your shoulders. Let's press up onto your hands and knees and come back into a child's pose, taking the tension off the lower back, reaching your arms long towards the wall in front of you, taking a couple good breaths to release the tension. And now let's come up onto our hands and knees. Curl your toes under and pike your hips up into a downward dog. From this position, allow your head to fall down far in between your arms. Reach those hips high towards the ceiling at the same time, pressing your heels into the mat. It's called oppositional forces, and we do this a lot in Pilates. And now let's inhale as we extend that right leg straight up towards the ceiling, and exhale as we bring that right knee into our elbow. Inhale, extend, and knee to elbow. Inhale, extend, knee to elbow, and extend, and 3, and extend, and 2, and 1. And place the right foot back on the mat. Inhale as you reposition your feet. And exhale. And inhale, lift that left leg straight up. Exhale as you bring that knee to your elbow. Inhale, extend. So knee to elbow and extend. Knee to elbow and extend. Knee to elbow and extend. And 3. And 2. And 1. And place that foot back on the mat. Allow your head to fall down in between those arms once more, pressing those heels into the mat. Gives you a great calf muscle stretch. And now come back out and down onto your hands and knees, making certain your hands are right under your shoulders, knees are right under your hips. And let's inhale as we reach our head and tailbone towards opposite walls. Exhale, let's drop your chin and round that spine back up towards the ceiling. Inhale as you extend, and exhale, round that spine and drop your chin. And inhale, extend. Let's go ahead. Take your right leg, left hand, reach for opposite walls. And now, let's swing out to the side and back to center. Swing side and center. And side, and center, and 3, 2, and 1, and place the hand down, place the knee down. Let's switch. Left foot, right arm, and swing out to the side, and back to center. Swing side, and center, and all the while stabilizing that torso for all your work. And let's do 2, and 1. And place the hand down, place the knee down. Give yourselves another quick little child's pose. Coming back up onto your hands and knees. Curl your toes under and bring yourself up into a plank position. Taking the hand farthest away from me, place it directly under your face, rotate up to look at me into a side plank. A full side plank is on your feet and hands. You can be on your forearm or your bottom knee. If you'd like to challenge yourself for balance, you can take that top leg, try to stack it directly over the bottom leg. Quite a balance act. And now let's come back to a full plank. Take the hand closest to me, place it directly under your face, rotate up to look away from me, and again, if you'd like to challenge yourself, you can try to stack that top foot directly over the bottom foot. Some days are better than others. Come back to a regular plank, take that hand farthest away from me, rotate up to look at me, and come on down onto your side, onto your bottom hip, bottom forearm or elbow. Bring your toes up to the front corner of the mat. Let's bring that top leg to hip height. Let's flex that foot. Kick forward for 2, point back for 1. So it's kick, kick, point back, kick, kick, point back. The object of this exercise is to keep that top shoulder as stable as possible. Trying to really stabilize your torso so that you're not swaying back and forth. And let's do 2 and 1. And come on down now onto your side. Still keeping your feet up at the front corner of the mat. Let's bring that top leg to hip height. Let's point that toe down towards the floor. And you might notice your ankle is pointing up towards the ceiling. So let's pulse that ankle for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. You might notice you're really working that gluteus medius there. And let's now go ahead, take that top leg, bend it over, reach that bottom leg out towards the wall, and let's lift and lower. And lift. And 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Great job. Rest your head down on your arm. Extend both legs to the back of the mat so that your body is in one straight line. And when you're in this position, try not to sink that waist into the mat. Try to keep that waist lifted so that your spine is straight, not bending sideways. And now, let's take and lift both legs and lower, and lift and lower, and lift and lower, and lift. And 4, 3, 2, and 1. And now adding on from here, let's add in the torso. So we're lifting legs and the torso, and lift and lower, and lift and lift and lift and lift. And 3, 2, and 1. Coming over onto your tummies. So rest your cheek or forehead in your folded hands. Keep in mind that cactus is still right under your belly button. So let's reach those legs out towards the wall behind you. And inhale as you beat those heels together. So inhale, 3, 4, 5, and exhale. Inhale, 3, 4, 5, and exhale. Inhale, 3, 4, 5, exhale. And reach and release. Let's go ahead, place those hands under your shoulders. Press up onto your hands and knees, hinging back into a child's pose. Taking that tension off the lower back again, reaching those arms long. Adding on from here if you'd like. Let's walk both hands off to the right, shifting those hips out to the left, intensifying that stretch down the left side of your torso. And walk your hands back center and off to the left, shifting your hips out to the right. And breathing. And walk your hands back to center. Come up onto your hands and knees. Curl your toes under. Hike your hips up into a downward dog. And slowly walk your hands in towards your feet into a forward fold. Keeping your knees soft as you exhale. Start stacking one vertebra, top of the next, rolling up to a standing position. Head comes up, and we roll those shoulders. And now let's walk around to the other end of the mat. And inhale as you reach those arms up towards the ceiling. Exhale as you reach out and over a barrel, walking yourself back out to a plank position. Full or partial plank, taking the hand farthest away from me, rotate up to face me. Challenge yourself if you'd like by stacking one foot on top of the other, and then come back to a plank and turn to look away from me. Again, seeing if you can stack those feet one on top of the other, and then come back to a full plank. Switch hands, rotate back up to look at me. And now let's come down onto that bottom hip, bottom forearm. Extend those legs to the front of the mat. Let's take that top foot to hip height, flex that foot, and kick forward for 2. Point back for 1. Trying to stabilize that upper shoulder and the entire torso. So it's kick, kick, point back, kick, kick, point back, kick, kick, point back. Let's do 2, and 1, and now, coming down onto your side, lining your torso up with the back of the mat, bringing your toes up to the front corner of the mat, lifting that top leg to hip height, pointing that your toes down towards the floor, and pulsing your ankle for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And now bending that top knee over, reaching that bottom leg out towards the wall, and it's lift, and lift, and lift. And let's do 4, 3, 2, and 1. Coming down onto your side, lining your torso up with the back of the mat, bringing your toes to the back of the mat so that you're in one straight line. And let's lift both legs and lower, and lift, and lower, and lift, lower. Trying to keep that waist from sinking into the mat. And let's do 2, and 1. Adding on from here if you'd like, lifting the torso and the legs, and lift, and lower, and lift, and lift, and lift. Let's do 3, 2, and 1. Great job, everyone. Let's come over onto our backs. Give those nice knees a nice big hug. Rock side to side. Placing those feet back on the mat. Let's go ahead. Take that right ankle over the left knee. Reach through. Pull that left knee in towards your chest. Press that right elbow into the crook of the right knee. And hopefully you'll feel this stretch in the outer right hip. It's a little teeny muscle there called the piriformis, which can cause a whole lot of pain. So this is a great stretch to stretch out that piriformis. And if you'd like to intensify it a little, you can try pressing your tailbone into the mat or shifting your weight off to the left or the right, finding the best position for your own body. And breathing. And release. Let's take that right leg all the way over the left. Bring those arms out to 90 degrees. Inhale as you lower both knees down towards the right. So you've got the bottom leg crossed over the top. You should feel this stretch in the outer left hip, down the outer left thigh. And breathe. You can turn and look down your left arm for some spinal rotation as well. And now on your next exhalation, using your abdominals as you lift both knees up to center, uncross those legs and bring the left ankle over the right knee. Reach through, pull that right knee in towards your chest. Press your left elbow into the crook of your left knee. And press your tailbone into the mat or shift your weight off to the right or the left, finding the best stretch for that outer hip and piriformis that you can. And breathe. press that right foot down. Let's bring that left knee all the way across. Bring those arms back out to a 90-degree angle. Inhale as you lower both knees down towards the left. And turning, looking down your right arm if you like, creating a full spinal twist, but also a great stretch for the lower right portion of your back and the outer right thigh. And breathe. And on your next exhalation, use your abdominals as you draw both knees up to center. Uncross those legs. Help yourself up to a seated position. Turn and face the front. And cross your legs, sit up tall, and inhale as you reach that left arm up towards the ceiling. Exhale as you reach over, opening up that rib cage, not collapsing forward, going straight sideways. And inhale up and switch, and exhale over, and inhale up and switch, and exhale over, and one more time, up and switch, exhale over, and inhale up. Let's uncross those legs, bring those heels in towards your glutes, shift your weight onto the balls of your feet into a crouch position, feeling this nice stretch through the lower back, but also the deeper calf muscles. And as you exhale, pike those hips up into a forward fold with soft knees. As you exhale, let's start stacking one vertebra on top of the neck, rolling back up to a standing position until your head comes up. Roll those shoulders. One little balance exercise. It's a standing stretch. So let's plant your right foot, pull your shoulders away from your ears, find a focal spot on the floor, bend that left knee. Reach for the top of that left foot with the palm of your left hand, and I'm getting a hamstring cramp. Try that again. Pressing that foot back into the palm of your hand to open up the quadriceps, open up the hip flexors. Great standing, balancing stretch. And release. And switch feet, planting the left foot, bending the right knee, reaching for the top of that right foot with the palm of your right hand, and pressing that foot back into the palm of your hand, opening up the quads and the hip flexors, and breathing. And release. And we'll end the way we started out. Feet hip distance apart, with your knees right over your ankles, hips over your knees, shoulders over your hips. Pull back and away from your ears. Knees are soft. Let's inhale through the nose. And as you exhale, drop your chin and allow the weight of your head to start pulling that torso slowly down towards the floor. And just for comparison's sake, see how much farther you can go than you could at the beginning of class. And let's just allow your torso to drape here and inhale. And as you exhale, start stacking one vertebra on top of the next, rolling up to a standing position until the head comes up. Let's roll those shoulders and inhale as we reach up. Exhale out and down, and one more time. Inhale up and exhale out and down. And thank you all so much for joining me today. I hope you